So we're going to continue with the conversation, and I'm just going to quickly introduce the discussion, right? So when you do a very quick search online, these are some of the topics that you see. And for me, there are so many of them like this one, but this one from GitHub blog, basically summarizes it. But there was one that, makes it for me, and that's the one that even started this whole discussion, right? How to get your first web developer job and the ultimate guide. And it's a 17-minute document that, a beginner could read. And there are so many questions that they try to answer, right? And these are basically questions that if you were a beginner, you would also have it on your mind. So I was just trying to sit in the shoes or stand in the shoes of somebody that is trying to, immediately after work, because the kind of work I do as a mentor, we are taking people that have come out of university and are trying to upskill themselves and get a job in this area. Okay, so so many questions, and my goal is to be able to help them. So with these kind of topics everywhere, it becomes interesting that we will be able to help answer some of these questions for them. And so basically, this is the foundation for what we are doing right now. And over the next few moments that we're going to talk, we're going to broadly cover these topics over here. All right, so essentially, how does the global software development landscape look like, right? How do you prepare yourself? Because secondly, also, how do you set your gaze? By that, I mean, there are so many up paths that you can follow, whether you want to go as an independent contractor, whether you want to find a job in a company. And then, of course, that's usually the first entry point for most people that get into the developer world. But how do you do that? We have some of us here on the panel that have experience being independent contractors, and then also even working in companies and things like that. So I feel that that experience would be great for sharing with our audience. And then secondly, I see it as a very important requirement that when you're going through the interview process and all that, you have to be able to show something for the skills that you claim you have. And so it's important to have a portfolio, but what are the characteristics of the portfolio that you're going to put out there that will speak for you? And then secondly, as a developer, I'm sure there are things that you have to carry with you or get very conversant with that makes your work successful. Even you as a human being, that you can work very successfully. So we are going to look at that point also. And then there is the soft skill aspect that a lot of people miss on, for which reason they may underperform on the job and not be able to deliver, whether within the corporate setting or even in the setting of being an independent contractor. So finally, how do you put yourself out there and make sure that you are getting, the best of what the market can offer? All right, so in a summary, that is what we are going to cover for the day. Are you ready for us to fly?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. In that case, I want us to do this quickly and then we can begin. Would someone help me with this question? Which of these two do you think is correct? Is someone bold, ready to attempt?
I also think the second option is correct.
You think the second option is correct?
Yes, please.
Why?
I mean, the singular fits it more than the plural.
I see. Okay, nice submission. Any others? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I was actually going for the second option, but I'm looking at the question mark. It doesn't sound like a question, so I'm a bit confused here.
Well, that was the goal, to confuse people. And once I have, yeah.
Then I think the second option will work if there are no question mark. But since there's a question mark, it's a bit confusing right now.
Okay, so we have two for the second option. Any last entry, or I'm just going to move on. Anyways, neither is correct, because I mean the point was to confuse you, but the yolk of the egg is not white. Whether you're looking at it in the grammar or whatever it is, neither is correct. So I'm sorry, my folks. Thank you for attempting anyways. All right, so with that, we are going to begin and invite our first speaker, who will touch on the questions that we have asked in the outline that I gave you. All right, so Mr. Dakon is going to take us briefly and describe for us the present landscape and what opportunities there are as far as beginners are concerned. So Mr. Dakon, you have the floor now. Can you help us and answer this question for us? How does it look like right now? Can you give us some quick opportunities out there that new entrants can have, take advantage of?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Amu. First of all, I would like to present how the industry is. As a beginner, I won't be too much technical, okay, for everyone to understand how, this business, if I can use the word business, this business works. And at the end of my presentation, you should be able to know, who are doing this work more compared to who. And also I'll try to present certain statistics for you to know what is going on and maybe give you an idea about even how much you can earn, and also the areas you need to specialize if you want to embark on this journey. Okay, so first of all, as far as the statistics are concerned, in this area worldwide, we have about 26.9, or let's say around 30 million developers distributed across the globe. And this 30 million, we have about, let's say 32.9, or let's say 33% are from Asia, mainly India, Pakistan, these Asian countries. 33% are from Asia. And also approximately 30% are from Europe in order to do this job. So it is already 63%. Now we have about 29% from North America. Only the North America, okay? And they are also developers. So if you do the computation, it will be left with 8%. Now that 8% that we in Africa, we are sharing it with South America and also Australia. And mind you, I even think these two parts of the world are taking the highest part of this share. So let's say in Africa, we don't have much developers. But there is something that you need to know. As we know, we are moving forward, the market is growing and we need more developers. But there is a whole lot of things to learn. But let me give you a few statistics about the languages. For the past 12 months, I mean last year, about 70% of these developers that I just mentioned, 70% of them use JavaScript in order to do their programming and then JavaScript related stuff. Okay, and one thing you need to know is we don't have enough female. So if you are a female and then you come to this job, you have a higher opportunity, or you have a higher chance, because 80% of developers are male. And whenever you come to this field, we mostly communicate among ourselves, or we work together using a lot of tools. And the most used tool that developers use is called Gates. Whenever you are in the field, you know what is Gates, okay? And I hope my colleagues will elaborate on that more. And also, it's one of the collaboration tools that is mainly used by the developers. But All these things might sound maybe too new to you people, but don't worry. But one assurance I want to give you is this job pays a lot. Being a developer, it pays a lot. For instance, in US, averagely developers earn like at least, okay, it is an average, okay, $74,000. And if you convert it, I don't know the current, exchange rate, but approximately whenever you convert it to cedis and then you divide it to 12 and you try to compute your monthly salary, it's something like 60,000 cedis a month. Okay. And whenever you take the case of Europe, you convert the amount of salary they take at the end of every month in cedis, it will be something like 40,000. Now, whenever we come to Africa, the leading country in this field is South Africa, okay? And the amounts they earn, whenever you compare it to Ghana cedis locally, they earn like 20,000 a month, okay? Now, in Ghana here, there are some few companies that try to recruit people, and if you're a developer, you work for this company, they try to pay you some tiny amounts, but it is not that much small dough, but you manage it that way. And averagely, per the statistics is something around 5,000 a month on the Ghanaian markets. Now, let's see something. Aside Jira and Git that I made mention about, there are so many things and like so many skills that people are learning and developing on the go. Okay. And when it comes to programming language, we have languages that are meant for what you call backend. I'll try to explain the backend and frontend maybe ahead. The backend, we have a lot of languages that people are using, but the most common used are Go. Okay, they are not that much common, but in terms of, whenever you have that skills, the one that they pay you more, okay, the most paid programming language, whenever you're a backend developer, is Go, Ruby, Python, Java, okay? Yes, but whenever you are looking for the most commonly language that are used, we have JavaScript. So if you want to develop and then be, among the crowd, so that whenever you need a help, you can quickly find people to assist you. JavaScript is the more commonly language that is used. And we have something that we call framework. It is a building block or some tool that you use to write your code quickly. And whenever you start learning JavaScript, so it means you have to learn one thing, one framework, and the most used is React, okay? So you have to learn that one so that you can work on professional jobs or projects. And aside the React, maybe you can decide to use or learn something that we call Angular. It is also a framework, Vue, and we have library jQuery and stuff, okay? Yes, these are things that you need to learn. And also, aside the JavaScript, we have the .NET, we have the Node.js, Python, all these kind of things are programming languages, okay, that you need to learn. But it's not everything that you need to learn. Now, there is a new trend that we call application modernization. As days are, moving forward, there is new discovery, there is new way of doing things. So we have a lot of applications that people developed in the early 80s, 90s, that they found out that, oh, if they don't adjust it and they don't modernize it, they will find challenge to, upgrade that code. So we call something that application modernization is a way of, developing your application quickly and then scaling it if people are not using it, scaling it down, and a whole lot of terms, concepts are now into play. And one of them is microservice architecture. Another term is cloud computing, DevOps, and these are new skills that if you want to be, on top or like to be on the current level, then these are new technologies or areas that you have to look into. Okay. Now, all this said, if you want to do everything that I just mentioned, maybe you be overwhelmed or maybe confused. So we have what we call career path as far as this area is concerned. career path is among everything that I've mentioned. What do you want to do as a software engineer? Then you choose that path and then you progress in that direction. So first of all, we have front-end engineering. The front-end engineering has to do with if you want to build an application, like the interface that people will see and then interact with. If it is a website, you know the menu, how it should look like now, how the image, the animation, and those kind of stuff that the user will see. Okay. And it is a whole career path on its own that you can decide to, focus on that area and learn the related technologies and stack. We also have the backend. The backend has to do with the logic behind the interface that you see. Let's say you are using e-banking application. So you log into your website, I don't know, your service provider, the bank that you are dealing with. So whenever you visit their interface, you input your card details or maybe your bank account, you press on enter. What goes on? How does the system transfer your money from that bank to another bank? That process behind the scene that you don't see is what we refer to as back-end engineering. And the one that is in charge of that is a whole specialization on its own. Okay. And we have full stack. It means that person is, courageous enough and he can combine the two technologies. And aside this, we have DevOps. It has to do with how to quickly, develop software and put it on the server or on the production. We have someone also who will say that, no, I don't want to do this. I just want to focus on mobile application development. So we also have a career path, which is mobile application engineering. We have graphic designing. They are very good. They know what is beautiful. We have quality assurance and a whole lot of specialization in this area. But mind you, whenever you choose one particular career path, now you have to progress, move from one level to another. And maybe the starting point, whenever you're front-end engineer, the starting point is what you call the junior engineer or junior developer, okay? You start as junior developer, you move to the next level, which is the senior developer or the senior engineer. And with the skills that you acquire, the kind of projects you've worked on, and then you move to the next level that we commonly refer to as tech lead. From tech lead, you'll be leading teams and you become a team lead or team manager. From the team manager, you become a technical architect, whereby you can design system high level, no matter the size of the project, you can handle it quietly. And at the end, the final destination is you becoming the CTO. Every technical aspect of the company, you are the one handling it. It means you are the overall boss when it comes to technical aspects. So when it comes to the role or position in a specific career path that you choose, you can move in this way. And also, depending on the organization that you are working with, structure, they can change it and update some naming and stuff. Okay. Now, this said, now you want to focus on one particular area or you want to gauge in one particular area. There is one thing that I would like you people to have in mind. A lot of people are switching into this field because they've heard that it pays a lot and there is, more opportunity. Yes, there is more opportunity. But one thing you need to understand is that it involves a lot of, commitment. It is not easy. Okay, you need to learn and the field changes quickly. So you should be someone who like learning and try to apply what you've learned. Otherwise, you'll be obsolete and you can't move forward. Okay. Now, if you want to stay at the top, then try to stick to one particular technology or stack and be learning that stack and make sure that you are part of a community that deal with that technology that you are into. And one thing that will help you is try to make sure that you build projects on a regular basis, and this kind of stuff will help you in order to create more content. But I hope whenever you start asking questions, I will try to explain more concepts to you, and I'll try to go more into the detail for you to have a deeper insight about everything. Thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to your questions when the time comes.
Wow, thank you so much. That was a lot of information that you shared with us. Really, really interesting. You know, I'm getting the feeling that we should just make time separately for just this aspect alone. But today we are just doing a salad of so many different things so that we can whet appetite for a more in-depth discussion. But two things that come to mind, you know, the statistics that you gave regarding the distribution of the skill force makes it look really interesting, especially on the aspect here on Africa, you know, Ghana included. With such a small number, it means that there is the opportunity and there are a lot of untapped talent here. But the question then is, how do you then become exceptional and stand out? Is either maybe they are not looking here enough to find the talent, or people are here are not working hard enough to become, you know, among the top, so that there will be that kind of demand. So my question is, how then do we take advantage of this small number and become really top notch and stand out? Because it looks like there are a lot of opportunities. And then secondly, also you talked about the application modernization, which is a conversation that because of computing power that has been, you know, it's just flying out. A lot of things are changing. The drive to modernize the modern, you know, the workplace, digitizing business processes, and a lot of things. Bring in this concept that you've introduced here. So the other question is also, how does that change the skill set that people have to acquire these days? Do you think it changes the way people should learn, the skills people should acquire, compared to what skills we are acquiring these days?
Okay, can I move on?
Yeah, you can answer these questions for me, please.
Okay, thank you very much. For the first one, seeing the amount of opportunity that Africa has, and we haven't tapped into that. So how we can use that potential, or how we can take advantage of this situation. First of all, what we are doing is already one step to create an awareness. Another aspect, another thing is, you know, trying to let people know exactly what to do in the field, because a lot of people jumps into the field without knowing exactly where to focus on, and they end up spending much time without, you know, doing anything. And if we have mentors, people, experts, as we are currently doing to guide people, they will quickly find their way in order to utilize the kind of potential they have. And also, once you are in the field, one thing that I always advise people to do is stick to one technology, and day in, day out, if it is once a week, tell yourself, this week, I will try to build a simple application. If it is one-page application, this is what I will do. Next week, I'll try to do another thing. Before you realize, at the end of a month, you've increased your knowledge.
Yeah. Yes. Did we lose Thomas? It looks like we've lost him. So, folks.
New product.
Okay, great.
Yes, it comes with software development. Okay. For instance, initially, whenever people are developing application, we have some methodology that they use, the waterfall approach, and it has a lot of challenges. But with this new approach, I mean, the agile gives a way of, you know, people collaborate, like has created a system whereby people can collaborate easily and then build application. Agile methodology has brought a new system that is DevOps. DevOps is a concept that was brought by Agile. Okay, and whenever you use DevOps, it makes developing application development easily. And you have to learn those kind of stuff. We have something called application containerization or using the Docker. These are concepts. So don't learn the ancient way of writing code and without improving on them. No, we have new tools that helps you to move faster and then try to build your application faster. So try to learn these kind of tools in addition to the basic programming language that you are dealing with, so that you can be competent on the market. I don't know whether I've...
Yes. In fact, I really like your answer, but because of time, I'm gonna just leave it here and finish on the line that, the punchline that we should not just focus on the ancient technologies, but learn the modern ones. So that was Mr. Dako's submission. From the audience, if anybody has a question, I will just make a room for one and then we can go on. Otherwise, I will continue and then make room for more interaction towards the end. So if you have a question, you can raise your hands and then I'll